I want to share a little story of what happened yesterday when I was at my primary care doctor. Now, I go there like all the time. It's nothing new. There's, it's not like I went there for like an urgent reason. It's just like we keep checking in and like see if meds need to be refilled, if anything, to help out this or that, or we were there for 2 hours, so we definitely were talking about a lot of things. But what I love about my primary care doctor is that, well, one of the things that I love is that there is a college nearby to where he practices, and the PAs at the college, the people who are in the PA program that need to do their rotations, they do like their internal medicine at my doctor's office. So it's just like, honestly, it's like fun for me. Like, I love them being there. Everyone's been so nice. They're here for so many weeks, usually I see them twice, and but they're having them, run all the computers, like run the computer stuff, do your vitals, talk, and da-da-da. I was wearing my mask that said Limelight Foundation on it. And of course I wasn't paying attention to that because I just was thinking I have a mask on, but now I need to make more masks and make Lyme disease awareness ones, because it brought things up, and I'm like, oh. And the craziest thing was, this girl, did she say she was like 25 or something? I was like, she was like, and I'm 23, and I'm like, look how accomplished you are. She had a rotation prior to this one where she was working at an urgent care, and my Lyme doctor also works at an urgent care. He does an urgent care and who knows where it is. I don't know, I've never been there. And then he's at his other office for like all the tick-borne disease stuff. And even though they weren't at that office, she said that she got so much information and was like telling me how like she didn't learn any of this in school, and like she told me what she learned. Like, it was so sad. She was like, you see a tick bite, there's a rash, you have some joint pain, and then you go on doxy and all is well. And I'm like, oh, colleges and high schools are failing their science students here. And, I explained a bunch of things. She didn't know a lot of my conditions. So I was like, she wanted to know more about me, and I'm like, sure, I don't care. And I said, oh, I have like CIDP, and I'm like, do you know what that is? And she's like, no. So then I started explaining it. It's chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. And I said it's like, the myelin sheath of a nerve is not staying how it should be. The outer coating or layer, you can call it, comes off, and it's nerve damage. And she was just so interested, and she could talk medical terms with me, because I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And it was just fun. She was also a gymnast, so then we were talking about gymnastics randomly. She got up to level 8, and then I don't remember what she was doing, but I told her about my story, and how doctors they don't believe you, and you go around because it's affecting all different systems of your body to the point where they think you're faking it. And she's like, yeah, that's what I heard from your Lyme doctor and all this, and how crazy. Like, she had no idea how controversial it was. And then she saw, because I was wearing a V-neck shirt, my port, and she's like, oh, you have a Lyme? I was like, oh yeah, I have a power port, and told her all the things I use it for, like, oh, if I need antibiotics, oh, fluids, oh, glutathione, oh, magnesium twice a week, oh, then there's IVIG, and then there's ketamine. And I was like, yeah, and that was cool. I was like, if I had stuff with me right now, I would teach you how to access one. I was like, because she was asking if it was hard. I was like, no. Like, and then I do it myself. People are always like, do a double take when I say I do it myself. I don't know. I'm like, I do B12 injections. Like, it's not that bad. It's not a big deal. Like, it's really easy. And I said, just the most important part when doing a port is to just make sure you're super sterile. And I'm like, obviously she's learned sterile procedures and things. She didn't know like what pandas and like the autoimmune part affecting your brain and how it could come up with psychiatric symptoms, but that's not the root cause. And it was very interesting talking to her. What other diagnoses was I telling her about? I don't remember. I was telling her about my cognition, like, and how I used to want to be a PA, and she's like, oh, you could totally do that. Look at all the stuff you know. They would be like so impressed. You're ahead of the game. And I'm like, I had to explain with her like with processing, like, and that I work, I'm with my mom at gymnastics, and how much I love that because I get to choreograph and work with kids and all those fun things. But like today, for example, this early afternoon, it took me over an hour to figure out, to put on like a pair of pants, get dressed. I'm just wearing a tie-dye shirt that I did at Abby's, and grab a sweatshirt and like wash my face. Like, so I didn't take a shower. I'm gonna take a shower later. But I was just standing there like, what do I do? Like, did I, oh wait, I have to get my hair wet, when I do it in the sink. And then it was like, I was just standing there like lost. And I'm like, wait, should I put on my leggings? Like, duh, like, you're not gonna wear pajamas all day. Like, yeah, you have to wear some kind of pants or shorts. And I was just the processing was so slow. It took over an hour. And then washing my face, I was just like, couldn't remember if I did something. I was like, did I do that? I don't know. I did it again twice to make sure, and I don't even remember what it is. So, yeah. Point being, hard processing day, and definitely not going to be a PA anymore, but was talking to her about all that cool stuff. And I wish I could remember more right now what we talked about. Oh, I explained, like, how there's like the controversy with nurses these days of if you should not use an arm that you have like a port on for like taking blood, doing an IV, any kind of thing like that, and blood pressure. And then how some people think like, absolutely, you should use the opposite arm because it like could cause an issue. And then other people it's like Republicans and Democrats here, like on crazy opposite sides of you should do that, absolutely, and then people going like, don't listen to them, and it doesn't mean it, you can do that, it's fine, and it's like, eh. So I err on the side of caution, and I was telling her that. Oh, and I talked to her about Sonoma, my service dog. She started off by saying, do you have like a, what did she say, I can see the word in my head, but I can't say it. How strange is that? Like, oh, a therapy dog. And I go, well, therapy dogs actually wouldn't be with one person. And I explained a little bit there. And I said, but yes, I do have a service dog. And I like showed her a couple pictures and how he helps me, and seizure detection, what he can do, how he I'm stuck. Like how I got him and fundraised, and he gets me my medicine and just a little bit like that. And it was just really cool to talk to her about Lyme disease and like tick-borne diseases and how they affected me, because I'm like, oh, because that affected me here, and now I have this, and you know, since this age I started having the stomach issues, and they thought I had celiac disease, but no, it wasn't. And how it's like all these things, and then, you know, you don't need to see a tick, you don't need a bullseye rash. And I'm like, so glad that she got to go be along with my Lyme doctor at the urgent care. So she was doing urgent care things, but then they're, you know, talking a lot, obviously. And I think her mind was probably blown a little bit, and that she won't take tick-borne diseases lightly whatever area she goes into as a PA. So we had fun talking medical knowledge and stuff. My doctor's appointments literally are like little field trips. I'm like, get to talk to people. So I was telling her like I can do an IV on myself, like I did an IV did I draw? Oh, I did draw blood, but it was kind of hard with one hand. But it was just, when I left, I felt good, because I'm like, all her other classmates had the same thing taught to them, and they think that Lyme is this and tick-borne disease is this, because that was in your textbook. That's super outdated, and you just learned something that can help so many people, and just like one extra person. I'm like, to get some education about how tick-borne diseases and Lyme affects you and can disable you, and all the things that she's never heard before. I'm just glad about that, and it was really fun talking to her, and I think I'm gonna see her again, because I think I'll be there another time before she leaves to go to her next rotation. So that is my little story. Sorry for all my like stopping and word searching. It's been a really weird processing morning, and maybe I just need more caffeine. It made me realize that something so small that I wasn't even thinking about, my mask that had the Lyme Light Foundation on it, because I've been involved in some of their things and they sent it to me, like how much that can bring up conversation. And that's how it started. She was like, she must have, do you have Lyme disease? Because look, I read your thing, you know? So it makes sense, and it's great to bring more awareness and get the myths out of people's heads. So I think I gotta make more somehow. I'll ask Crafty Abby to help me. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go play with Sonoma, and I'll see you later.